Not only do we have a new Star Wars live-action TV series that was done by Jon Favreau coming out in 2019, but we also have the new Star Wars Trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, one of the projects that I am really looking forward to the most has all to do with the creators of Game of Thrones and their set of Star Wars movies that will be coming out after Star Wars Episode 9 in 2019. I am looking forward to this trilogy a whole lot more than Rian Johnson's trilogy, and a lot of people, I am sure, would agree with me on that. But looking at Episode 9 here, we do know that J.J. Abrams is working hard on that project, and we do know that the creators of Game of Thrones, both, D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, I should say, they're both working very hard on this trilogy. They're in the early works right now. They're still kind of busy with Game of Thrones Season 8, but looking at everything here, something very interesting about this fourth trilogy for sure, is that apparently the fourth trilogy will utilize cutting-edge technology from motion capture actors that will appear to be lifelike and will also require less man-hours to finish the final product. The set of films will have an opportunity for many motion capture actors and actresses to be involved in a franchise as big as Star Wars, as well as using this technology that is currently being developed. The first film of this trilogy is said to be the first film to use this cutting-edge technology that will change the way we look at motion capture and CGI characters for a new decade. The set of films will also rely more on practical effects rather than green screen and blue screen techniques. This trilogy is said to be one that will be all mapped out from the very start to prevent the format from the sequel trilogy, where each director did their own thing. And that's the thing that I'm really looking forward to the most as well, is how this trilogy, these set of Star Wars movies, will all be mapped out from the very beginning by both writers David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. And we do know that they will be choosing some of their directors here and there. So it's kind of similar to how the live-action TV series is being treated, where Jon Favreau wrote the whole entire series from the very start. It was all mapped out, obviously, and he actually chose a couple of directors to actually do their own episodes. So far, we do know that Dave Filoni's doing, I believe, the first episode, and we also have Bryce Dallas Howard doing an episode, and more to come. So the same exact thing will go as follows for the new Star Wars trilogy. And this fourth trilogy, honestly guys, I am crossing my fingers that it's going to be the Old Republic. A lot of people are really hoping that that is the case. And a lot of people are also doubting that that would be the case, because the Old Republic is something that a lot of fans out there are, well, not necessarily familiar with. If you played the video game, I'm sure that you guys would love to see this in the form of a live-action Star Wars trilogy. And I'm sure that it would also be a great way to introduce this to the casual fans alike around the world. So that's my point of view. I feel like that for the people that are not familiar with the Old Republic and have no clue exactly what it's all about, this would be a great way, a great tool for Star Wars creators to introduce it to casual fans around the globe and get them invested in it, get them to learn more about it and experience these new characters, these new set of Jedi and Sith. And that's one thing to really look forward to. Other than that, let's say if it's not the Old Republic trilogy, what could it possibly be? Now, apparently they're going to be using a lot of motion capture characters in this new live-action Star Wars trilogy, which could very well tell us that we're going to get a lot of characters like Supreme Leader Snoke, except a whole lot better in terms of the way it looks because of this cutting-edge technology that will be applied to this fourth trilogy. And we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm, they reshaped their whole entire plan for the Star Wars franchise after the box office results of Solo: A Star Wars Story. After the whole entire situation there, they had to change all of the different Solo films, all the different standalone films, and now they're focusing primarily on one movie at a time. That's their new technique, one movie at a time, not focusing on 10 movies at once, which honestly I think is a great move. I think that if you focus on one thing at a time, not only are you able to catch your mistakes early on, but you're also able to invest yourself even all the more so in a Star Wars project like this, especially one that's going to be brand new and not based on the Skywalkers. You really got to treat this with care, and you got to be very careful with it and make sure that it's going to be right for the Star Wars fans. Now, unlike the live-action TV series, which isn't really set with Force stuff or Jedi and Sith-related content, that is one thing that I'm really hoping to see in this new Star Wars trilogy. I really want to see more Force stuff or Jedi and Sith stuff. Mind you, I really do love the bounty hunter aspects of Star Wars, the criminal underworld, the war aspects like Rogue One, but I would also love to see more Jedi and Sith stories that aren't necessarily connected to the Skywalkers per se, but based before the events of the prequel trilogy. That's a whole entire era that can really be explored on a massive level. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.